Welcome to the world of MMORPGs. What's up, boys? If you are a gamer, you probably know that MMORPG stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. In this series of videos, I will touch every MMORPG ever launched from 1995 till this year. And you will learn what was these games and many interesting fan facts about them, so stay till the end. Okay? Today, we are going to take a trip back to the time to explore the early years of MMORPGs, from 1995 to 2001, from the game called Meridian to the game called RuneScape, when the genre was still in its infancy, from the free-to-play games to pay-to-play games to pay-to-win games, from 2D sprite-based graphics and text game to real 3D worlds. We will cover every MMORPG ever released during this time period. I use different data from the web to research every possible existing MMO and, of course, Wikipedia. If I miss some games, comment below, let me cover them later. Also, like the video if you want the second part. Okay, let's go! First huge surprise for me was that like 85% of all the games, just quick reminder that they're from 90s, 85% of all the games are still active. Some of them have like millions of subscribers. Okay, let's go. Meridian 59. Meridian 59 was the first 3D massive multiplayer online game released commercially. It was one of the first MMORPGs to introduce the PvP system, allowing players to engage in combat with each other. The game was actually created by two brothers, Andrew and Chris Kirms, who were both avid gamers themselves and wanted to create an online world where players could interact with each other, like in the real life. Dreams, you know. Next one, Nexus: The Kingdom of the Winds. Nexus is based on Korean mythology and culture. It was one of the first MMORPGs to introduce the political system, where players could run for office and rule over the game's virtual world. The game was originally released in South Korea in 1996, and it quickly became one of the most popular online games in the country, with over 1 million players at its peak. In 1996, man. Okay, next one, Realm Online, was one of the earliest MMORPGs to feature a full graphical interface with a top-down view of the game world. The game was known for its complex crafting system, which allowed players to create a wide variety of items. The game was actually the first MMORPG to feature a real-time combat system, which allowed players to engage in battles with monsters and PvP in real time. Terra. Terra was one of the first MMORPGs set in sci-fi fiction universe. It was also one of the first MMORPGs to allow players to control vehicles and other mechanical constructs. The game was actually the precursor of the popular MMORPG EVE Online, which was released several years later. Both games were developed by the Icelandic studio CCP Games. I mean, the more you know, right? Hetrick is a text-based MMORPG that simulates the management of a soccer team. It has a large and dedicated player base with over 300,000 active teams as of 2021. The game was actually created by a group of Swedish students in 1997. It was originally intended to be a small project for their computer science class. However, it quickly grew in popularity and became a full-fledged MMORPG. Tibia is one of the oldest MMORPGs still in operation, having been released in 1997. It is known for its hardcore gameplay, with the permadeath and the punishment mechanics. The game was actually created by a group of German students in 1997. It was originally intended to be a small project for their computer science class. As well. However, it also quickly grew in popularity and became a full-fledged MMORPG. I mean, permadeath. Sure, it's from the German guys, right? And Ultima Online is often credited as one of the first successful MMORPGs. It was also one of the first MMORPGs to allow players to own and decorate their own virtual homes. The game was actually developed by Richard Garriott, who is widely considered to be one of the pioneers of the MMORPG genre. He is also the creator of popular RPG series Ultima. Clan Lord is a 2D MMORPG set in fantasy world. It is known for its cooperative gameplay mechanics, with players encouraged to work together to complete quests and defeat enemies. The game was actually developed by a company called Delta Tau Software, which was founded in 1987 and still in business today. The company has developed other number of online games like Space Ward Ho. Okay, this is the name of the game, the title, right? Space Ward Ho, and Eric's Ultimate Solitaire. Lineage or Lineage was one of the first MMORPGs to gain widespread popularity in South Korea. It was known for its focus on PvP combat, with players able to engage in large-scale battles and sieges. The game was actually developed by the company called NCSoft, which was founded in 1997 and still in business today. Also, NCSoft developed the games like Aeon, Guild Wars or Lineage 2. I can say that I spent most of my years playing MMORPGs with this company, because, Lineage 2. Underlight. Underlight is a 3D MMORPG set in Dream World. It has a small but dedicated player base, with a strong focus on role-playing and storytelling. The game was actually developed by a company called Lyra Studios, which was founded in 1995 and still in business today. Also, this company developed the games like Seed and Dream World. The Fourth Coming is a 2D MMORPG that emphasizes dungeon crawling and combat. The game was known for its deep character customization options, allowing players to create unique and powerful characters. The game was actually developed by a company called Vircom, which was founded in 1993 and still in business today. The company has developed a number of other line games, like Dark Age of Camelot and City of Heroes. So these boys know what they're doing, because all the games like Dark Age of Camelot and City of the Heroes, I can't say that they're fully successful, but that was great games. Asheron Calls is a set in a unique fantasy world called Dareth. It was one of the first MMORPGs to introduce a monthly subscription model. The game was actually developed by a company called Turbine, and it was founded in 1994 and still active. The company developed the games like Dungeons and Dragons Online and also Lord of the Ring Online. Dark Ages is a set in a fantasy world inspired by Celtic mythology or Celtic mythology. The game was known for its focus on role-playing and storytelling, with a strong emphasis on in-game event and player-driven narratives. The game was actually developed by the company Nexon. Nexon, which was founded in 1994 and still in business today. Also created something like MapleStory, Cartrider, and many more games. EverQuest, everybody knows EverQuest, is one of the most successful and influential MMORPGs of all the times, and still, it was known for its vast and immersive world, with a wide variety of character classes, quests, and dungeons to explore. The game was actually developed by company Sony Online Entertainment, which was later renamed by Daybreak Game Company. This company developed many cool games over the years. Infantry Online. Infantry Online is a 2D MMORPG set in a futuristic science fiction universe. The game was known for its fast-paced gameplay and emphasis on player skill, with a focus on player versus player combat. Everybody liked PvP, still it's hurting you. It was originally developed by publisher Harmless Games, but was later acquired by Sony Online Entertainment, now Daybreak Game Company, right? Infantry Online had a dedicated community of players and was active for over a decade before its official shutdown in 2012. However, the game has since been revived by community through various private servers and emulators and still going. Anarchy Online. The game is set in sci-fi fiction universe with a dystopian future where players can choose one of the 4 factions: Omnitech, Clan, Neutral, and newly added Redeemed. It had a notoriously buggy launch, but the developers offered a 3 months of playtime to players who stuck around and helped test and report bugs, which helped to build a dedicated player base. Then it became the hugest MMORPGs ever. One of the unique features of Anarchy Online is its ability to craft implants that enhance the player's skills and abilities. This is the good story for developers nowadays. If you want a dedicated player base, listen to the players, try to help them to play your game, right? Estonia 3. I don't know where is Estonia 1 and 2, but the game features an unusual dual class system, where players can choose a primary and a secondary class that can be leveled independently. Estonia 3 was originally pay-to-play, but when the official service was shut down in 2014, the creators released the source code, which led for multiple fan-made communities. Estonia 3 is notable for its unique grind-free level system, which allows players to level up their characters without the need of excessive grind. And Dark Age of Camelot. The game takes place in fantasy version of Arthurian legend, where players can choose to play as one of the factions, Albion, Hibernia and Midgard. It introduces the concept of realm versus realm combat, where players from each faction could battle for control of territories and resources, which became a defining feature for many subsequent MMORPGs now. Dark Age of Camelot is known for its unique realm with realm combat system, as I told. So this feature is in our hearts forever. If you didn't play Dark Age of Camelot, at least try to watch few videos about it. It was the great game. Dark Space. The game is set in a persistent online universe where players can choose to play as one of 4 factions and engage in large-scale battles. It is notable for being one of the few MMORPGs that is open source, which has allowed for ongoing development and dedicated player community. Dark Space is a free-to-play MMORPG, and it engages massive space battles with up about 500 players at once. The Legend of Mir 2. The game was originally developed in Korea and became massively popular in China, where it was played by millions and millions of players. It featured a unique leveling system where players could level up specific skills and abilities rather than their characteristics and characters as a whole. The Legend of Mir 2 was one of the first MMORPGs to become popular in China, and is still played by millions of players to this day. Princeton Tale. The game is set in a high fantasy world where players can choose to play as one of 4 races and 9 classes. It was one of the first MMORPGs to feature fully 3D graphics, which was a significant technical achievement at this time. Princeton Tale is notable for its unique visual style, which combines 3D graphics with 2D sprite-based characters. And RuneScape, the last game in today's list. The game has been and continues development since its launch in 2001, with regular updates and content expansions. It has 2 separate versions, RuneScape 3, which has modern graphics, modern graphics and gameplay mechanics, and old school RuneScape, which is based on the game from 2007 version and has a more retro feel. RuneScape is one of the longest running MMORPGs in history, and is still played by million and million players for this day. This year, RuneScape became one of the biggest MMORPGs right now on the market. So, there you have it, boys. A look at every MMORPG ever released from 1995 to 2001. We have covered a lot of ground from this first game, Meridian 59, to classics like Ultima Online and newer games like RuneScape. This is amazing to see how far the genre has come in just a few short years, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for MMORPGs in these years. So, if you like this video, subscribe and hit the like button, so I will know that you like such kind of videos, and I will do the second, the third and the fourth part of the video, right? Because the list is long. Yeah. Thank you for joining us to this trip down memory lane, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!